Times are tough for so many people in South Africa with mounting bills, salary cuts and job losses amid the COVID-19 pandemic. What about other stresses like children wanting expensive things or wanting to know how much you earn? How do you navigate these situations? Rita Cool is a senior financial advisor from Alexander Forbes, and she joins us now. I love your surname, Rita. How do we keep cool when it comes to addressing these sort of financial matters with our kids?
Well, I think you can be honest, but you don't have to tell them everything. I'm sure that most of us would like to know what everybody earns, but it's just not going to happen like that. So I think communication is key, as well as a really frank discussion about what matters. And it's not the bank balance that matters. It is what you do with that money. And I think that is something that you would have to discuss with your child to say, listen, for us, this thing matters, or for them, that thing matters. And at this point in time, be honest. If you have lost your job, if times are tough, you don't have to tell them everything. Don't frighten the kids. But just say to them, listen, we are not necessarily going to go on the holiday later this year, or we're not doing this. But don't tell them we are poor. That's not going to help the situation.
All right. At what age do you start bringing your kids into these conversations, and how will it benefit them if they do know a little bit more about your financial standing?
Well, I think it's never too young to start financial education. And I'm not necessarily talking about being able to do a percentage calculation, although that is very important, but just to make them aware of money and that things cost money. So you can actually go with a very small child, and as you go shopping, if you have the guts to take a small child shopping, you can say, okay, this is costing R5 and this is costing R3. Which one are we going to choose? And just make them aware of their environment. As they get older, you can involve them more and more, and you can say, listen, this specific after school activity that you're doing is costing R200 every week. So do you really want to do it, or is the money better spent someplace else? And even with teenagers, without actually saying to them, listen, this is the amount that comes in on a monthly basis, you can go through your budget with them and say, listen, this is how much my electricity is costing. Do you think we can cut there if you switch off the lights when you leave the room? Or maybe if you take a shorter shower, we can save some cash. Maybe we can then redirect that money to something nice for the family or for yourself. If you can help us to keep the budget in check, and without giving them full responsibility, but just making them aware that things go in and out, and it's not just a credit card and magic money that is paid at a shop when you take out the credit card. It will definitely set them up for a much better financial outcome for your kids in the long term as well.
Okay, that's good advice. When I was researching this topic this morning, I was reading about a bloke in the States who put his salary on the table. So he got $1 bills, put it all over the table, and then discussed this with the kids. So your, I don't know, sandwich costs this, I have to pay taxes from this. And he said that them actually seeing how quickly that money can dwindle really put the reality into their minds.
Absolutely. And what you have to be cognizant of at this point in time is with all the social media that bombards the kids, and even yourself, you go, oh, I can't believe my best friend can afford to go overseas again. It doesn't mean that the kids will feel exactly the same, but you have to also explain to them that you can pretend to have a lot of money, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the full story. So you can, just because a person goes overseas doesn't mean that they didn't save for that. And you can say to the kids, listen, if it is important to you for us to go overseas to experience that, let's put a savings plan in place. And from this table full of money, how much is going to go to settling debt, and how much are we going to put away for saving for something? And then you can also say, well, you don't know that this friend of yours at school whose parents drive a fantastic massive car, that they don't live with the bare minimum in the house because all the payments of all their salary is going towards the car. So just because you see something doesn't mean it's the whole story. And if you can make your children aware of that, that also helps a lot.
Rita Cool, good to talk to you. Thank you.